Berenstain Bears forget their manners? Yes, they did. Berenstain Bears forget their manners. Okay. I love the Berenstain Bears because they live in a tree. There's a lot of room in that tree. You never noticed? And Mama got her way. She painted the windows pink. You know that Papa did not choose that. Papa did not choose pink windows for that tree house. All right, there's the bird, the omnipresent bird. All right, there was trouble in the big tree house down by the sunny dirt road, deep in bear country. Trouble with manners. The bear family's trouble with manners was that they forgot them. Yes, they did. All right. So at first it was just an occasional please or thank you that was forgotten. Then there was a rude push without an excuse me. And then a reach across the table instead of a please pass the broccoli. Some people find it hard to say please about broccoli. Mama Bear wasn't quite sure how or why it happened, but she was sure of one thing. Whatever the reason, the Bear family had become a pushing, shoving, name-calling, ill-mannered mess. Oh, shoving and pushing and silly head and fuzzbrain and noodlepuss, that's the worst one of all. Noodlepuss, that's just uncalled for. At the table, it was even worse. They were a grabbing, mouth-stuffing, food-fighting, kicking under the table, super mess. I remember my children's father saying, one of the things he didn't care about this book was sometimes it just made the father look so hapless. And it really kind of does. So, and that's not fair, really. I mean, I know that's sometimes the case. But, I'm just going to try to read his, comments in a little bit more complimentary light. I'm gonna do my best. Because, context and everything. All right. Of course, Mama Bear tried to correct brother and sister's behavior. She tried coaxing. She tried complaining. She tried shouting. She tried going to Papa for help, though it sometimes seemed to Mama that he was part of the problem. Papa banged on the table and shouted as only he could shout. But nothing really seemed to do any good. So, can you see my ladder in the frame? I don't know if I fixed that. Mama didn't like what was happening to the Bear family. Not one bit. Something had to be done, but what? The best way to fight bad habits, she thought, was with good habits. Then she thought of a plan. She got a big piece of cardboard and a marker, and at the top she wrote, "The Bear Family Politeness Plan." Something we could do, some kind of family plan on poster board. Anybody know what? I forgot to stock up on poster board. Shoot. There might be some in the garage. The Bear Family Politeness Plan. When the plan was finished, she called a family meeting and showed it to Papa and the cubs. Look at their faces. They're really not sure about this. Fear and trepidation. That's who you're looking at right there. Father, not so sure. Not really. What do you think Father looks like? What are those eyes saying? When's dinner? Okay. So, this is really killing my neck. Good Lord. Trying to get these pictures close enough for you guys to see them. It certainly got the Bear family's attention. The Bear Family Politeness Plan said, look at all these things. If you did this, you would have to do this. Reaching at the table, you would have to clean the yard. Huh. Said Brother, this looks serious. I think we'd better come up with a plan of our own, or we're going to be doing a lot of extra chores, he says, secretly to his sister behind his hand.
What sort of plan?
Asked Sister.
Well, he said, instead of just being polite, we'll be super polite.
We'll please and thank you so much that Mama will get fed up and call the whole thing off.
Yeah, said Sister. We'll be so polite, she won't be able to stand it.
Okay. They put their plan into action. They were super polite. On the stairs, after you, sister dear.
Thank you, brother dear.
In the hall,
excuse me, brother dear.
Why, certainly, my dear sister. Waiting for the bathroom.
Terribly sorry to have kept you waiting. Think nothing of it, my dear.
Okay. How's this going so far? How do you think it's going so far? What do you think? But it didn't work the way they expected. Mama didn't get fed up at all. And after a while, Brother and Sister forgot about being super polite and were just polite. At the table, pass the honey, please. Certainly. In their room, would you like me to help you pick up your toys?
Oh, thank you very much.
In the yard, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. And that's all right, no harm done. And it turned out that Mama had been right. Things did go more smoothly. Once they got into the good manners habit, they didn't ever have to think about it. We're going to need this. We're going to need this for a while. Okay, so, but it wasn't so easy for Papa. My goodness, it could be that Papa, works elsewhere. Doesn't spend as much time in the family unit, maybe more hours outside the home. Could be that in his place of work, there is influence from those who, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't so easy for Papa. He was the one who got fed up. It's a little harder to change habits when you're older, and he had to do quite a few extra chores for forgetting his manners. I'm glad to get out of the house away from that politeness plan, he said as he drove the family along the highway on a trip to the supermarket. Manners and courtesy are just as important away from home. Whoops, that's Mother's voice. Manners and courtesy are just as important away from home, especially on the road, said Mama as they stopped at a stop sign to let pedestrians and other cars pass. They help us drive safely. Oh, Mama, she's so practical. Well, grumbled Papa as they all went into the busy supermarket, I think you can have too much of a good thing. You've got to have common sense along with manners. Why, if you let everyone go ahead of you at the checkout, you'd be there forever. I'm almost going into a Paul Lynde situation here. So, for instance, he says, see, they're in the checkout lane. See the checkout lane? There they are. Yeah, there's a little baby bear. Little baby bear. And sometimes you have to interrupt, Papa says. Excuse me, madam, he interrupted a shopper, but I believe you have a leaking bottle in your cart. The shopper thanked him for his help. The shopper. Remember those days? Too soon? Probably. You see, he said, driving home, there's more to life. Wait, he didn't say driving home. Okay. You see, he said, driving home, there's more to life than remembering your manners. Besides, manners are all right for cubs and mama bears. Bonk! But we papa bears have other things to think about. At that moment, the car in front stopped suddenly and Papa bumped into it. He was furious. Why, that pin-headed fiddle brain. Boy, I'm so glad he didn't say noodle puss. Name calling, reminded Sister. Be bears. Isn't that cute? Be bears. The penalty for name calling was cleaning the whole cellar. So Papa gritted his teeth and remembered his manners, and a good thing too, because climbing out of the other car was the biggest, angriest bear he had ever seen. Have you ever seen a bigger, angrier bear? I don't know. Maybe I have. But when the angry bear saw how polite Papa was, he remembered his manners too. He explained that he had stopped short because a mama duck and her ducklings had crossed in front of him. Then he and Papa Bear looked at their bumpers and saw that there was no harm done. Look at the little duckling. That's so cute. As I was saying, Papa... Wait, sorry. As I was saying, said Papa, as they continued on their way, it's very important for us to remember our manners at all times, and I want to thank you, Sister, for reminding me to remember mine. You're very welcome, I'm sure, said Sister Bear, politely. BN. Thank you for listening.
You're very welcome, I'm sure.